Hi everybody, it's Richard here again and welcome to part 28 of where I show my full vinyl album collection. We're currently in the glam stroke pop section of the 1970s, and today there's going to be three artists. First of all, I'm going to show the Slade collection. Now these are filed in quite an odd way actually, but we'll go with it. And the first one up is Slade. And I got this a few years ago. This cost an arm and a leg basically, and it's got Naughty Holder's signature on it. And I don't know if it actually is his signature, but it's not a bad album. It is their debut album. And then we have Slade Play It Loud, which is, again, it's not a bad album. The stomping sound of Slade hadn't yet developed, but this has got Know Who You Are on it, as well as Poke Hill and The Shape of Things to Come, One Way Hotel, so it is a pretty good album. And then their breakthrough album is actually the live album, Slade Alive, and this is a superb album. And then we have this, The Best of Slade, which has got a similar cover but in blue, and this features a few of the early singles and some of the early B-sides like Candidate and Gospel According to Rasputin, Wondering Why, My Life is Natural. It's a good album. And now we get into the glam Slade and Slade with Mama We're All Crazy Now, Goodbye to Jane, Let the Good Times Roll, The Whole World's Going Crazy. Very, very good album. Sladist, which is the greatest hits from 1973, and it takes actually from Slade and Play It Loud, but other singles include Come On Feel the Noise, Squeeze Me Please Me, Take Me Back Home, Cause I Love You, Get Down Get With It. It's a fantastic hits album. I love the back cover of that as well as the front cover. Old New Borrowed and Blue, and the two hits off this were Every Day and My Friend Stan, but this features two of Slade's best ever songs, When the Lights Are Out, sung by Jim Lee, and Miles Out to Sea, absolutely brilliant. Possibly the best album is Slade and Flame with Far Far Away, How Does It Feel, but also has Them Kind of Monkeys Can't Swing, Okay Yesterday Was Yesterday, Summer Song, Wishing You Were Here, Heaven Knows. Brilliant album. Very Beatlesque, I think. And then we have Nobody's Fools from 1976, and this actually has two hits on it, In for a Penny and Let's Call It Quits. I think they both got to about 11 or 12, but the third single, Nobody's Fools, is one of their best ever, and it failed to chart. Whatever Happened to Slade, and this is the one with Gypsy Roadhog on it. This is the one that they did once they came back from America, and it's got a brilliant track on it called It Ain't Love But It Ain't Bad. Very heavy album. And then Slade Alive Volume 2, and this is okay. This actually feels as if it's been sort of tampered with, because the sound of it sounds actually like newly recorded studio versions with a live sounding. I don't know if that's the case, but there's just something off about this album, and I don't think it got onto that recent Slade live box set. Return to Base, this is a very good album from 1979, but sold absolutely nothing. It's got Wheels Ain't Coming Down on it. Don't Waste Your Time is my favourite track. It's really good. My Baby's Got It, Ginny Ginny, I'm a Rocker. Really good album. And then we have Slade Smashes, which came out after their success in their Live at Reading in 1980, and this is very, very good. It's got all the hit singles and a couple of dodgy singles as well. For example, Give Us a Go is on this, which is probably one of their worst, but yeah, it's very, very good, but too much on one album. It could have been put on to a double album. Then We'll Bring the House Down, which is regarded as a studio album, but it's not really. It's a compilation, because half the tracks are from the Return to Base album, plus the We'll Bring the House Down single, which was released a few weeks before this, and then a few other tracks which were on the Slade 6 of the Best from 1980, like When I'm Dancing I Ain't Fighting and Night Starvation. So there's really nothing brand new on this at all, but it is an absolute brilliant album. And then we get Till Death Do Us Part, which is a fantastic album with Lock Up Your Daughters and Ruby Red and Knuckle Sandwich Nancy, and the opener Rock and Roll Preacher is fantastic. Another quite heavy album. Slade on Stage, and this is much better than the Slade Alive Volume 2, and it's got We'll Bring the House Down, Goodbye to Jane, Mama We're All Crazy Now, When I'm Dancing I Ain't Fighting, Every Day, Rock and Roll Preacher. Very good album. The Amazing Kamikaze Syndrome from 1983 with the big hits My Oh My and Run Run Away. I was never that keen on this album, but recently I've really got to like it, and it is actually quite heavy. This one here is Keep Your Hands Off My Power Supply, which is basically the same album as the last one with a slight different track listing, slightly arranged differently. And this is an American release now. I think this came out for Record Store Day. Was it last year? And yeah, very, very good. Rogues Gallery, another brilliant album with the hit single All Join Hands, but it has Mysterious Mr. Jones, which is one of their best later day songs. It's absolutely fantastic. Little Sheila and Harmony are also brilliant. The Christmas album Crackers, which is released on one of, I think it's not the Ronco label, it's the Telstar label, and yeah, it's okay. There's some re-recordings on here, and then you just get things like Let's Have a Party, Hi Ho Silver Lining, Santa Claus is Coming to Town, Let's Dance. It's alright, it's not bad. I actually played it recently just before Christmas, and I actually really did enjoy it. Their last album was You Boys Make Big Noise, and this is a really good album as well. And the first single off this was Still the Same, which is one of those scarf waving songs, but it is really, really good, and I think it's better than My Oh My. Ooh La La in LA is so catchy as well. Won't You Rock With Me, Love Is Like a Rock, pretty good album. Then we have Wall of Hits from I think 1991 or 92, and this was released after they did Radio Wall of Sound and Universe, and again it's a single disc album, too many songs, and this is the best of the lot, and it's come on Feel the Hits with 24 songs off it, all the big hits, but it also has Mysterious Mr. Jones, Radio Wall of Sound as well, which is fantastic. Now we're going back to the start again, because I did actually buy a lot of these albums on splatter vinyl. I'm not taking the vinyl out, so I got Ambrose Slade on splatter vinyl, Slade Alive on splatter vinyl, such a good band, Slade on splatter vinyl, Slade again on splatter vinyl, Old New Born Blue likewise on splatter vinyl, Slade and Flame splatter vinyl. This one here is Live at the New Victoria, and this is a brilliant album, double album, starting off with Them Kind of Monkeys Can't Swing, has things like The Bangin' Man, Goodbye to Jane, Thanks for the Memory, Far Far Away, Every Day, Reeling in My Champagne, a really good B-side. This too is on splatter vinyl. It featured in that little CD box of the live albums. Nobody's Fools, splatter vinyl. And the next one is Live at Reading, which is nearly the full show. It's not quite, there's 10 tracks off this. I think they're missing one or two, but this is a fantastic album. That's really what brought them back. Till Death Do Us Part, splatter vinyl again. And The Amazing Kamikaze Syndrome on splatter vinyl. So there's certain ones that haven't been released, like We'll Bring the House Down or Return to Base or Whatever Happened to Slade. This one also got it in splatter vinyl, which I bought the Crackers album. That was this one I listened to just before Christmas. Okay, this is the Dummies, and this is an album released in the early 90s of early 80s, late 70s recordings by Jim Lee. And it's really good. It's just re-recorded a lot of Slade songs that he thought should have done better under the Slade name but didn't. So you get Nobody's Fools on this, you get Jeannie Jeannie, which was Ginny Ginny, When I'm Dancing I Ain't Fighting, Ain't Love But It Ain't Bad, Miles Out to Sea, plus a couple of other ones like Poland and Instrumental. which I think actually is Love, Let Me Love Into You. Burning the Heat of Love is pretty good as well. Maybe Tonight. Didn't You Used to Be You, which I think is a new song, but still really, really good album. And then we go on to Sweet, and this is half Sweet, half Pipkins, and this is a Sweet whenever, before they were famous with the Lollipop Man and the Juicer, Get on the Line, Mr. Gallagher, etc. The Sweet's debut album, Funny How Sweet Cocoa Can Be, and this has got Coco on it and Funny, but there's bonus tracks in this as well. This is a reissue, obviously. So you get Alexander Graham Bell, Papa Joe, Little Willie, Wigwam Bam, Done Me Wrong Alright. It's a very good album. This one here is Sweet's biggest hits, and this is basically the same album as that last one. Sweet Fanny Adams, and this is the one with Set Me Free on it, which is fantastic. AC/DC, Sweet FA, Rebel Rousers. Really, really good and very heavy album from '74. I think it's their only studio album to chart. This is Desolation Boulevard, which is also from '74, and this has got Turn It Down on it and the 16s. This version here has got a couple of extra tracks as well, a couple of B-sides. It also has the original version of Fox on the Run. This is Give Us a Wink, which has got Action and Lies in Your Eyes. A very heavy album, but very good. Also is Off the Record, and this too is very heavy. And this is the one with Lost Angels on it, and Fever of Love. But still, it's a good album. This is probably their best album, Level Headed, and the big hit off this was Love Is Like Oxygen. Now the LP version is completely different to the single version. It's excellent. It's almost proggy, and I think the other hit or the other single was California Nights, but this is very mixed bag of different styles, and I think it's a really, really good album, and it's the last one with Brian Connolly. This is Cuts Like a Knife without Brian Connolly, and it's not bad. iGames is probably one of the best songs off it. Colby was the single, and this is Water's Edge. And again, this is not a bad album, and this has got a couple of really good tracks off it, like Give the Lady Some Respect is very status quo. I think it's very good. 60s Man was the single, did nothing though. We're in the 80s now, and this one I don't even think was released in Britain. I think it was only released in Europe. Identity Crisis, and this is one of their best albums. This is absolutely fantastic, so it is. There is a version of I Wish You Would, the song that Bowie covered in Pin-Ups. I think it was the Yardbirds that originally did it, but it makes me wonder. It's a brilliant track. New Shoes, Identity Crisis, really strong album. And then we get into a few comps, and this is Golden Hits, one of the early comps I bought way back in the 80s, and yeah, it's really the bubblegum stuff, but it's good. This one here, I remember borrowing this and having it taped on one side of a C90 and the other side was Elton John's Greatest Hits. I loved that tape, and this is all the hits, or all the singles actually, from Blockbuster up to Stairway to the Stars. It's the Golden Hits, and it's an absolutely brilliant album. This one here I got for Christmas in 1984, and it's the Sweet Hits, and again it's just a hits collection with 16 tracks. No Coco or Funny on it though. And this, I believe, was a Record Store Day Platinum Rare, sort of outtakes and demos and so forth. Very, very good. And this one is Platinum Rare 2, which I think was also Record Store Day, and again it's a double album. Really nice packaging, very good. Now we get on to Roy Wood. Now with Roy Wood, I'm starting off with The Move, and their first album with Flowers in the Rain, Yellow Rainbow, what's the other big hit, Fire Brigade. It's a very, very good album. And the next one is Shazam from 1970. Now this is a twofer. This is actually probably my favourite Move album. There's only 6 tracks on it. It's got Hello Susie on it and Cherry Blossom Clinic Revisited. And then another disc is Looking On. What an awful cover that is. And this is probably my least favourite Move album. It is just very dirgy and heavy, but it's alright, but it's nothing brilliant. And then we have Shine On, which is basically the Message from a Country album with a couple of extra tracks like Tonight and California Man, Do Ya and Chinatown. A very, very strong album. The Move, Fire Brigade, and Music for Pleasure Comp, decent. And that's in nearly every charity shop there is. The Move, and this is the first time I actually heard The Move, was on this album here. I had it on double cassette, and it's the collection, and it goes from Night of Fear up to Hello Susie. It's really 1970, so there's no Jeff Lynne stuff on this, but you get really great tracks like Curly, Brontosaurus. I don't think Jeff Lynne actually performed in it. Cherry Blossom Clinic Revisited again, and just the big hits. Wild Tiger Woman is one of my favourite Who singles, and it was one that didn't do too well. Roy Wood, Boulders, absolutely brilliant album. Favourite track is Wake Up, which is a little acoustic number, and it feels as if somebody's splish splashing in a basin of water to get a certain effect. Really strong album. That was recorded while he was still, I think, with The Move. Wizard Brew, the first Wizard album, and this is, oh my god, this is almost jazz rock, and it takes a bit of getting used to. The catchiest little track is Jolly Cup of Tea, but in some cases he's almost screaming his head off in this, but it's not a bad album. It's just, you know, it's not See My Baby Jive or Angel Fingers or I Wish It Could Be Christmas Every Day. This one here is called See My Baby Jive, and basically it's a little bit of a comp with a couple of tracks from Wizard Brew, a couple of B-sides, and the singles See My Baby Jive and Angel Fingers and I Wish It Could Be Christmas Every Day. This one is Eddie and the Falcons, and this is like a rock and roll revivalist one, and the single off this was This Is the Story of My Love, which didn't do too well. The formula was starting to wear thin a little bit, but this also has got You Got Me Running on it, which I absolutely love. It's one of those shalala ding dong songs, but it's really, really good. And then we have Mustard from 1975, and the highlight of this is Look Through the Eyes of a Fool, which is absolutely brilliant, and Any Old Time I Do is very good as well. It's a very eclectic album, but it's one of his best. Now this is sort of very jazzy, and it's the Roy Wood Whistle Band. And I'm not overly keen on this, although I do love one song called Earthrise. But yeah, a little bit too sort of out there for me. And this album here is absolutely brilliant. It's the Roy Wood Story, a double album. It takes everything in from Mike Sheridan's lot, the first song, through The Move, a bit of a Yellow, and Wizard and Solo. Absolutely fantastic album. Okay, now 3 more left, and this is On the Road Again, and this is an album from 1978 which wasn't released in the UK. It got released in America and I think maybe the odd European country, but this is very good as well. This has actually got John Bonham on it, on I think it's the track Keep Your Hands on the Wheel, and you can actually hear it, so you know it was John Bonham. But We're On the Road Again is brilliant. This is a very, very consistent album, but obviously wasn't released in the UK. And this is Roy Wood, the singles, and this came out I think in 1982, and it's good. It takes in The Move and Wizard and some of his later 70s singles like Green Glass Windows is on this, We're On the Road Again, OTT. So yeah, very, very good album. And the last one for today, oh sorry, we've 2 more. This is the Best of Roy Wood. This is from 1984 I think, and I got this at the time, and this takes in just the same thing again, Move, no ALO, but Roy Wood solo and Wizard. And then the last one for today is his last studio album to date, and it's Starting Up from 1986. And this, I really like this, although it is very dated in sound. Red Cars Are After Me is absolutely brilliant, as is Raining in the City. On Top of the World I think it's very status quo like, but very, very good album. Okay, so that's a look through Slade, Roy Wood and The Sweet. The next one I'm not too sure. I think it starts with Mott the Hoople. I'm not too sure how many artists I'll be showing though. So till then, that's me. All the best now. Bye bye.